Hi, my name is Craig, and this is my wife, Michelle. We've been married for 8 years. We have 5 children, and I work in agriculture. We were both raised as believers. Our first child was a honeymoon baby, and Michelle, she wanted a big family, and well, I guess I was open to it. But pregnancy has been rough all the way through. Every one of them from the first one. Morning sickness was incredible. Pregnancy with our fourth was incredibly difficult. We had twins with the loss of one of them at 16 weeks. So that was hard on Michelle. I mean, especially thinking of her, she had one in her uterus, one she was protecting, one in her womb, and it was also to one of them, it was a tomb. And so that was a hard, 8 months? There was the grief from the loss. The pregnancy was high risk. There was preeclampsia. There was feeding issues after the baby was born, jaundice, tongue tie, the grief, postpartum depression. And we were told by more than one family member and church member that, oh, it's just grief. It's just grief. It'll be fine. But being strongly pro-life, we're thinking, wow, the grief is incredible because to us, it's not just, we didn't just lose one. It's our child. It's a baby. It's a human life.
Yeah, it was very difficult. I had not much support from people that I knew when I tried to reach out, be like, this is hard. This is very difficult. I don't feel like I'm coming out of it. I don't have any memories from when my little one was birthed to 6 months. I have pictures, but that's it. So that was a very difficult time. I didn't know what postpartum depression was. I had people tell me, oh, it's your fault. You should have eaten right. You needed to, don't live in darkness. Don't forget to choose joy. You shouldn't stay in that place. Pick yourself up by your spiritual bootstraps and do better. And that just reinforced everything that the postpartum depression was telling me, that I was a bad mom, that I wasn't doing this right, that I couldn't handle the 4 I had at home. And so that was extremely difficult. I was desperate. When I had the twins, after we had that first ultrasound and we were told that one didn't have a heartbeat, the living child, James, he was 25th percentile. By the time I went for a next follow-up ultrasound, he was 1st percentile. He was diagnosed with failure to thrive. I had multiple ultrasounds monthly. I was checked into the hospital several times. We were offered abortion as a option, which obviously was off the table for us. We were told that if he lived past birth, he would have anencephaly and wouldn't live to past a teenager. So it was very difficult, lots of fear. But God was good, and he's a thriving toddler in every sense of the word right now.
We're worried he'll make it through teenage years as rambunctious as he is.
So God was good through that, but that was indeed a low point in our marriage.
It was a very low point for us, for both of us, really. I was checking out and thinking, okay, if this is what you wanted a big family, this is tough. This is hard on us, hard on the marriage, hard on the other kids. We both decided that we needed a break. And so we needed a break
from having children.
Right. Not from each other. Thank you for clearing. Anyway, we needed a break from having children. We needed to focus on us, focus on our marriage. And I was checking out. I was like, okay, this is what you wanted. Meanwhile, Michelle was a basket case. We needed a break, and Michelle did not want to end on a loss, though. She said, yeah, break, but I really would like to have a pregnancy that goes well. And so a short time later, despite her efforts, Michelle found out she was pregnant. And once again, she was incredibly sick through all of it. She wasn't sure that our marriage or she would survive. We had received little or no help with James and knew that this one would be probably no different.
It was a lot of fear as well. I was so scared I was going to lose this baby, and I knew that I would not survive another loss, mentally or otherwise. I was on the mailing list. I received the Hope Prayer Blasts. I've been pro-life all my life. And so when that point of desperation, I reached out to Hope Pregnancy Clinic. The lady who set up the appointment prayed with me on the phone. And by the end of it, I was bawling. It was so good just to have somebody listen and to hear me. At first, I was reluctant to reach out at all because, I'm a believer. I'm not the typical demographic. I've been pro-life all my life. I'm the type of person who's supposed to have it handled. I shouldn't be in this desperation place. And so I was reluctant to reach out because I didn't want to take up resources that were meant for someone who was more desperate than me. But at the same time, I didn't have anywhere else to go. So I did, and everyone at the appointment was so incredibly kind. I just needed someone to listen, to tell me that I could do this. I went away with a list of resources and the knowledge that I had someone to call if I was ever desperate again. The pregnancy was already very difficult at that point. I was having biweekly IVs just to be able to survive and take care of my children I already had. We ate a lot of chicken nuggets. Craig reluctantly agreed to come with me to the parenting initiative. This wasn't our first rodeo. He knew how to change a diaper. So there was a little bit of that, I've done this, I don't need to come to a parenting class. But we were both very pleasantly surprised at how the classes could be tailored to our specific needs, the things that we were interested in, knowing more about the things that we needed help with, and the level of care and spiritual mentorship that we received was amazing.
The classes with Jim and Corrine, weekly classes for 6 weeks, those were the highlight of our week. We did all the homework and then some. We were excited to have some tools to help us succeed. We desperately wanted to succeed. We just didn't quite know how.
When baby was born, I was induced. I had a very difficult labor, probably my most difficult. I ended up in the hospital 3 days later with postpartum preeclampsia. Baby was born at 37 weeks, had severe tongue tie, jaundice, and the first 3 weeks we had to feed with syringes. I had postpartum depression as well. I was able to look back at the handouts that I received from my appointment at Hope Pregnancy Clinic and reach out to my doctor, who was able to get me the help that I needed. And I was able to be treated for that, and I'm in a much better place than I was last time around. I'm very grateful for that. Our marriage has been strong throughout all of that. We've been communicating well. It's been a blessing.
Our marriage is now stronger than it has ever been. It's sweeter, far. After baby was born, Jim and Corrine, they were with us through the parenting initiative. They led us through that. They came and visited us with a meal. They met our other children, and we've visited with them several times since then. They have been a real blessing. We were sitting with them tonight. Jim, Corrine, thank you so much for the hope that you have given our family.
Names have always been a hard thing for us. Generally speaking, I like the meanings of names and significance of them, and so I would come up with a list of the meanings and what they meant and the value and significance that they meant to me, and then I would pass that list on to Craig, and he would veto them.
Partway through the parenting class, it's probably about halfway through, we had an ultrasound, and in this one we said, let's find out the gender of this baby here. We have not done that on any of the others, but let's find out this be a special thing, that we'll just keep between us. We found out we were having a baby girl, and we both immediately agreed that through the help and the hope that we received here, that her name should be Hope. So, anyway, thank you everyone here for being God's hands. Thank you everyone here for being God's hands and his feet, and for giving us hope, and for giving others hope as well.
Thank you everyone.